Hi, and Happy New Year to everyone. If you're still allowed to say that, I don't know.
Um, yeah, I don't think you can say that anymore.
So what's the what you say? What's the threshold for saying Happy New Year?
Happy
Some
January.
people say it's the sixth. It's the 6th of January. Is my mic set up right? I'll check that.
Happy 5 streams. Can you hear me, guys?
I can hear you. I think everyone else should be able to hear you as well. But I was seeing some little echo comments, so maybe I'm just too loud.
I have a question for you guys. When do you start dismantling all the Christmas decorations?
In Germany, there's kind of a rule for that as well, and it's also the 6th.
Oh, there's a rule?
Not rule, but
I mean, yeah,
so you throw out
rule.
your Christmas tree and all the stuff by the 6th, because that's also when the garbage people actually pick up the old trees and stuff.
I actually did it yesterday. So yeah.
Prince Paradox says July. Okay.
July.
Yeah, when the kings come, exactly. So Pedro, it seems to be the same. So how's it for you, Thiago?
So we don't have really an unspoken rule about it. We just do it whenever we can. So actually, we did it yesterday. But I know of a friend that actually what their family did is they take the Christmas tree, they wrap it with this plastic all around it, and they put it in the garage. So then the next time it is Christmas, they just take the tree again and they put it back, and they just unwrap it. It's very curious to know about it.
But all the needles fall off, don't they?
I don't have much details about it. He just told me he did it that way.
Okay.
Which seems
Because
very lazy for me.
We have
Sounds
a reusable Christmas tree anyway, right? So not a plastic one, but a wooden one, which is really nice. So we just package this and then we unpack it the year after. But I think the question, when do you actually remove the Christmas decoration, also feeds into the question, when do you actually start decorating, right? When do you put up your Christmas tree and stuff? Because, for instance, in Poland, where I was born, we typically did that on Christmas Eve, on the day of Christmas Eve, on the 24th of December. This is when you decorate your Christmas tree, right?
That
so
seems
then obviously
like
you can also keep it a little longer.
Like to just keep it for a week or two. We usually do it like starting December, late November.
So around the time that Advent starts, right?
Yes, exactly. It makes sense because it takes like 1 or 2 days to set up the Christmas, at least in my house. My mother has a lot of decorations, so it takes a lot of time.
Yeah,
we have a plastic tree that actually, I think it is older than me. Since I have memory, we have that tree. It's insane.
I think I don't have any experience with plastic trees. So in Germany, that's very kind of frowned upon. People always want a beautiful, nice tree every year, right?
Interesting.
But we also have the climate for that in Germany, right? It's easy to grow like real, whatever they're called in English, but the nice varieties of evergreen needle trees that you would want to use as a Christmas tree.
We don't even have seasons here, so it is difficult to have some pine trees.
Yeah. So I think pine trees, for instance, are a thing in Portugal, right, as Christmas trees, but you wouldn't use pines in Germany, for instance.
Where are you from, Prince Paradox? He says, funny, here we have a tradition of throwing the real trees in the river after Christmas. That sounds very fun, actually.
So in Germany, you either use fir Or what's Fichte? Fichte is probably not Fichte. Oh, kids are home.
Charles says,
Spruce.
from the bird on the right, I can see play is very near. Have you seen? This is the product of 13 days without shaving. It's not a lot, but it's honest work.
So,
So remember you said I wouldn't shave until play releases.
that's a good
You
one.
remember? I have
Yeah.
kept my word, but I gotta admit it. Even if it is not a lot, since I am not used to it, I already want to shave. I hate it so far. I don't
What?
know. Yeah, and I don't know how you managed to keep that bird. Now that I know the feeling, because I never have been so much time without shaving, I think like how you managed to keep it without it being uncomfortable, or Pedro as well.
You get used to it. But also there are parts that are uncomfortable about it. For instance, if your mustache grows too long and it's always like whenever you eat anything, it's covered with whatever sauce you're eating, right? So that's super annoying. But apart from that, I mean, it makes you look more serious.
No, I can brush it like this. I'm be thinking. Bird has its
Exactly.
own skincare routine. You learn to love it.
You do, but I mean, yeah, there's certain parts like on the neck, right? You definitely have to shave because it's gonna grow too annoying.
I
So
think it
yeah,
is part of growing up. Like you learned how to take care of your bird.
I learned that when I was 16. um,
Zippers.
zippers. Oh, chainsaws. That's nasty. I haven't. I have no experience with getting my beard into a chainsaw. Luckily.
Interesting.
Mm. Why is Pedro hiding behind the screen? That's actually a good question. Why is Pedro not with us? Hmm. We may be able to fix that. I don't know. I don't know where Pedro is right now. Whether he is he's
From
ready to
what
join on
inspection?
stream, but
Oh, for car
okay.
inspection. Yikes.
Okay, so that's why. Okay. Anyway, let's get into your questions because obviously everyone's waiting for play and everyone wants to get updates and has questions about the Wombat token price and whatnot, right? So let's start with that. So Brent asked any play updates and what's definitely NFA. What does NFA mean?
Non-financial advice.
Not financial advice. Are you bullish on play?
Come on, man. That's City
Um,
101.
yeah. I know, but I didn't catch this. I'm not at 100% after my COVID thing that the whole family had last week. Okay, play updates. And are we bullish? We actually had a company meeting earlier today where we presented kind of what's like once more, but what kind of the consolidated current plan is. And I think that everyone got really, really excited about this. The thing, one of the issues is that so far there is not a lot of information about PlayMind and Play out there, right? And that's part of the com strategy, right? That we will release everything in a very structured way with all kinds of parties involved, with partners, with KOLs, with exchanges, right? So there's that's why we're not handing out kind of uncontrolled parts of the information about play about PlayMind. But I'm really really bullish on it. I think it will bring us to a whole new level, especially the way that we've been managing to improve on the entire project, right? So I've said that a few weeks ago already, but I can reiterate on that. Originally, the main goal of merging the tokens and creating play was to merge the tokens and create play. right? But then after we got out with the PlayMind concept, with the concept for the PlayMind protocol, which is going to be kind of the future big use case for the Play token, people got so excited about that, and we were able to onboard very, very good advisors. So again, also who that is and what their role is, for instance, is also part of the comms of the communication strategy, right? And so we ended up talking to some real big shots from, for instance, the gaming industry, right? And then we realized that we're actually on to something that's a lot bigger than what we originally were thinking PlayMind could become, right? So suddenly it's become a lot more about, okay, how do we find the right angle to actually tackle the current need for AI in gaming, right? So that PlayMind can be positioned as something that's 10 times bigger than what Spielworks has been so far, right? And I think that we're getting there. No, I'm convinced that we're getting there. So that's why now it's only a few more weeks to wait. I promise that, right? That this is not gonna drag on forever. I know that a lot of people here have been like, okay, so now they still haven't communicated anything, and we've heard that before, and so on, right? And I understand that it's frustrating to wait, right? But to us, it's very important that to not rush out just because we know that you want a date. But for us, it's like what's going to drive the demand for the token and the token economy going forward is the promise of PlayMind, much rather than the existing ecosystem, which is important to all of you here, and we understand that, and we obviously also we're not forgetting about this. And I guess that's part of the reason why Santiago always gives me a hard time with all kinds of questions, because obviously this is where we want to be very hands-on still and keep everything smooth and running, as smooth and running up, and yeah, and
Are you?
up
Okay.
as possible.
I think we're losing you, or maybe that's my connection.
Future. Yeah. Well, typically I get a notification here when my connection goes down, but I hope that I'm still understandable.
Not really. Not the last
Is that
15
okay?
seconds.
Okay. So I hope that it's working now.
Sure. Yes, I can hear you. Great.
Okay. All right. So I know that you're fed up with waiting. But it's only a few more weeks, right? When we'll have the date, we'll communicate it, and we'll execute on it, and it's gonna be really great. There's gonna be a lot of campaigning around this, so I think I'm really excited about it. I guess a little tying into this is CapTop's question. Can you explain the 1 BIT token price? 18 months ago, the market capacity was around 750K and the price was about 0.0015. The market capacity, or market cap. Okay, so that's not market capacity, it's market capitalization. Market cap is now around 1 million, yet the price is nearly 80% lower at 0.0003 approximately. Can you explain why, please? That's basically because there's a larger amount of tokens floating, right?
Yes.
So the market capitalization computes as the number of tokens that are out in liquid supply, floating supply, or how else available supply, whatever you can want to call that, right? And times the actual current price, right? So that's it. So that's why maybe another point is the reporting of the because we had a discussion about that internally as well. The reporting of the available supply of the current supply, that's always a bit weird because, for instance, you probably know the most relevant two sources for that is CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap, right? And those two have different methods of how they compute that already, right? So you will hardly ever actually see the same number for any circulating current, whatever you want to call that supply, on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap at the same time. So it starts there already. So there might be this might be a matter of kind of definition of what circulating supply is, or it might be a lag in updating this because they might not update it automatically, right? So typically what you do when you define the market, the current supply, the circulating supply, is you take all the tokens that have been minted, the maximum supply, or the total supply. You deduct any tokens that have been burned, and then you deduct any tokens that are being held in locked custody, right? So, for instance, stuff that's on vesting wallets. And depending on the definition of CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, you might arrive at different conclusions, right? Because there might be a wallet that's liquid tokens that, for instance, were bought back by the company. Does that go into the circulating supply? Is that circulating or is it not? Right? And there's a lot of these kind of tiny little questions. So depending on how that's that defined and how many how often they update this, you might end up having a different supply shown, and that actually defines your market cap there. So that's why. The staking pool should be updated again, so it should work.
Yep. Greetings from Argentina. Hola, mucho gusto.
Love Argentina. Is there a process or an idea how the players should know about the MP for the newer Polygon collections of the recent seasons? The MP of those still hasn't been announced or filled into the official spreadsheet. Santiago, that's for you.
So yes, we have a spreadsheet for it. I don't have access to it. It corresponded to the previous PM, so we have to create a new one and also check the current MP for the ones that we have. It's not a problem. It's kind of annoying because it works different with Polygon than it works for Wax and EOS. So I will actually have to go through each contract and of the NFTs on Polygon because they work different on Polygon than on Wax, and be able to update them manually. So it's something that should take half a day to do, and I need to do it. I'll try to do it today. Actually, I'll put it in the list. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, CapTop is following up. I've noticed the supply was about 4.4 billion. It's now about 4.9. Still doesn't really add up to the 80% decrease. Well, if that's what was reported, then it doesn't add up. I agree. But then I don't know how that, like where you got the number, the old number for 750,000 from, because clearly that doesn't add up for the old number already. But so maybe you can send in some screenshots or some data about where you got that from, and we can look at this. But that's why I personally don't really like looking at market cap, because it's a number that is very misleading because of the definition of circulating supply, right? And I'll give you a very specific example, which is kind of funny, because you end up making mistakes if you get too if you become too strict with yourself, which should be something that's good, right? But you get punished by the by the system for that. So when we first created Wombat, we actually put any tokens that were locked and investing essentially into vesting wallets, right? Because that's how you should do it. right? So we physically cannot access these tokens that have not been unlocked yet, right? So it's also kind of predictable how the circulating supply will change over time. Other companies and projects, they actually just put them into a multi-sig safe, right? So they can basically be accessed at any time. From a physical perspective, from a technical perspective, right? Even so, they will say, okay, we won't access these tokens or whatever, right? And that's obviously much easier for anyone to handle than to have the tokens locked up and basically have to claim your unlocks every month or whatever, right? And these things will be treated differently by CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko as well, right? So it really depends on what you want your market cap to be, right? There's been a massive issue with, for instance, last year there was a lot of tokens released at a small market cap, a small circulating supply initially, but huge valuations. Pretty much all of these tokens have gone down like crazy, especially in gaming, but also elsewhere, right? There were so many tokens launched at what 2, 3, 4, 5 billion valuation or half a billion valuation. So the price was high, but the circulating supply was very low. So then obviously there's a lot of tokens that will be added into circulation, and then the price will not be sustainable, right? So this is what happened. That's why a lot of people are frustrated with investing into pre-sale tokens or pre-launch tokens. Okay. So if we're talking, like, if it's not the market cap, but that was what was specifically asked, right? But if it's about the token value drop, I mean, there's a few factors that factor into this over the last year, let's say, right? Because obviously we were at a much better shape a year ago, and we're not proud of that development. But that's precisely why we're doing Playmind and want to run it back with all of you, right? We didn't want to do a new token and an all new token and then basically leave everyone in the dark or whatever. We wanted to basically run it back with everyone, and that's why we created Playmind the way we created it, or Play Token. So if we were to sum up kind of what happened last year, it was definitely a mix of mistakes that we made, right, when it came to the token and the handling of new partners and KOLs, from a marketing perspective specifically, but also from a kind of what we were focusing on a perspective. It was part of this was market related, right? We were very bullish on Web3 gaming early in the year last year, like many others as well. But the overall Web3 gaming market is really, really down, right? So if I don't know, I haven't looked at any index, but Santiago and I spoke about like the Illuvium token or whatever, Star Atlas or Portal or Block Games or there's like so many examples in Web3 gaming. So the overall market has been crazily bad. Is there anything you want to add on this, Santiago?
Nah, I hate Illuvium. There's not much I can say about it.
No, but overall, the Web3 gaming market has been developing horribly, right? And that obviously included us as well. So there's a few factors that came in on this. So I think that right now, for instance, it's still really, really hard for Web3 gaming, standalone kind of Web3 gaming, right? Like the performance of new tokens has been bad. There was this little flash in the pan, more or less, with Telegram game tokens launching on a short succession, which hasn't been going that well afterwards, after basically the hamster, right? But overall, Web3 gaming has been like really, really bad. So for us, the real opportunity actually lies in the AI part of this, in actually filling up um, or filling Web3 gaming with AI or combining this with AI, because AI is still really is doing very strongly, right? It's doing really well. So yeah, right now I think that's the main narrative in Web3 is AI and meme coins still, right? So that's where I want to go.
It's very interesting, actually. There are projects with millions of funding. For example, let's put as an example, I don't know, Pirate Nation. They are backed by A16Z. They have millions, but millions in funding, and their token is valued in 30 million, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, the market cap is 31 million, which is insane for projects that are so well backed and polished like them. So that's why people also get the question is, are we going to have a run for GameFi during this bull run? Well, now people think the bull run is over, but yeah, during this run, will there be a place for GameFi?
I think there will be, but in a different way than it was last time, right? Last time, a large portion of the bull run was driven by NFTs and NFTs also in terms of game NFTs, right? I mean, Illuvium was a great example, selling out 70 million worth of NFTs in like what 15 minutes or whatever it was, right, in 2022. Um, so they had a lot of money, and then it's kind of funny if you get in so much money from an NFT drop or from investors, whatever equity or token investors, then if the token price goes down, you can actually buy back large portions of the token with the cash that you have, right? But that only works for so long. After a while, you run out of cash on that end, right? So if the market goes really badly, they will stop doing that and basically protect their funds in order to actually deliver something. So I think what's going to happen is Web3 gaming or GameFi, whatever you want to call it, will get really big. It will be very relevant, but it's not gonna be this kind of super hyped up valuations anymore, right? So it's super hard to justify even for something like the Sandbox, and they've been out there for so long, right? It's even hard for them to justify their valuation from a kind of how much of the token is actually being used in the game, because they have a great big ecosystem with a lot of partners and so on, but they don't have all that many users yet, right? So it will require these games to actually have a lot of players, not 5,000, not 10,000, not 100,000, right? But hundreds of thousands or even millions of players who are interested in actually like buying into these assets. And then we'll see valuations go up and tokens to do well. It was actually like a lot of people were hoping that, for instance, off the grid, right, they could do kind of something in the real gaming market, um, because they had all these traditional streamers and so on, right? And a lot of people playing this and watching this and being number one or whatever in the Epic charts and whatnot. So the initial thing worked well, but then apparently the game. I haven't played the game, so I can't say. But apparently the game wasn't good enough to sustain this, right? So for the streamers to actually keep streaming about the game after their deals ran out, right? Because obviously you make deals with these streamers, you tell them, hey, you do that for what, for a week, for a month, for 2 months, 3 months, and you get this and this money or compensation for this. And yeah, so it really will require some of these games to become really successful with a lot of players for us to actually get back on a little bit of a hype. And the valuations for those games will be driven by actual consumers, right? Not by speculators who just want to exit with a high multiplier. And I think that's going to be much more healthy and much more sustainable, but it's going to take a little time, right? So you will not, or it's much less likely that you'll see these. Oh yeah, we're we're selling out an NFT drop worth 5 million or 3 million or 20 million in minutes, right? So I won't. I don't think we'll ever get back to that. Um, Bull run hasn't even started. There, that's a very interesting discussion. What's your take on this, Thiago? You're muted. You're muted.
Sorry. First, I said just to the point. Play of the Grid has 1.8k viewers right now, which is not a lot, but this is part of the process of the game and GameFi and all these Web3 projects reaching maturity, getting their own audience, and figuring out their own stuff. But yeah, it's not ideal with the funding that they had. That they right now they are sitting at 1.8k viewers.
Tukui is asking regarding play. Do you think it's better to launch at a low market cap or a high market cap? I think it's better to launch somewhere in the middle. So you don't want to be too low because so not where we are right now, for instance, because that's not going to be great with some of the let's say deals that you make with certain involved parties, right? Because if you pay them in tokens, then it's not going to be like it's not going to end up being a good compensation for them, right? So that's one. Second is you also want to print a nice chart, and the chart shouldn't start incredibly low, right? Part of the reason why we're rebranding the token and we don't kind of fold one into the other is that this will give us the opportunity to print a new chart, right? And you don't want this to start incredibly low, but you also don't want this to start incredibly high and just go down. So we don't want to be too high initially, because if you're going very, very high, and I mean, we could basically set the price anywhere, right? It's just that if we set the price too high and everyone just says, okay, that's awesome, now I'm going to sell, and everyone just sells their tokens, then nobody gains anything, right? It's just that a lot of people had the opportunity to make free money, whatever, right? And that's not where we want to go. So I think it's best to be somewhere in the middle so that you have potential to go up, so that the chart actually looks good going forward, right? But it's not too low so that you don't end up in a situation where people laugh at this, or some exchanges won't list if the market cap is too low and whatnot, right? Also, you need a certain market cap to sustain a certain amount of volume, because you need the liquidity in the market. So you can't be doing this with a few million market cap token or valuation token. That's a little bit off topic, but we can answer it quickly. Tony TT Suna, I have a question. Can a wax wallet like Atomic Hub or MyCloud wallet be created without sending the initial 5 wax, like a free wallet? I need one for my friend, but he does crypto for fun now. I would recommend to use Wombat, actually. Just download Wombat, the Wombat app, and create your free wax account. It's free. On this little sheet I said, but the question is, if Wombat can't even do basic things like keep RAM working on the chain state updated, like evidenced by all the problems recently with Atomic Hub, why would we trust you with anything like AI or yet another token? Watch Super Grinch on Wax Fun, and I think he's the worst. He's the worst.
What did you do on Pump Fun?
I created the Grinch token and another one and a few tokens more. So I mean, yeah, I agree that this is not a good look on us, that we weren't been managing RAM things properly. Part of the reason was that we wanted to have a kind of little tighter management of those because of the volatility, effectively, right? Because originally with EOS, right, prices were changing a lot, so you didn't want to. That's been a long time ago, right? But for instance, EOS price has been going down a lot, right? So we didn't want to invest too much into kind of RAM upfront. Then suddenly RAM price spiked, right? So because of that non-predictability, we wanted to not be exposed to too much price movement on things like RAM. So we kept it a little tighter, and then we started getting problems with this, because then there were unexpected spikes in, let's say, CPU price or whatever, or RAM price even. And that's when this started causing problems from an operational perspective. So we're really sorry for this. But I think it's been a lot smoother now for the last few months, or weeks at least. We're also working on a different setup for Atomic Hub from an operational perspective. And this should also improve dramatically when it comes to kind of reliability and stuff. When is this burn? We have not done a burn stream in a long time.
I haven't been part of a burn stream. Now that I am thinking,
because we haven't been doing them on stream anymore.
Okay.
But we do them every month. So this
Sounds
this one's is due this week again. So this is going to happen today or tomorrow, and then this will be announced on Wednesday, I believe, because it's typically announced on the 15th. We did it last month. I think we were a little late because of different sicknesses and stuff. But we used to do that on chain, of course, on chain, but on stream. So it's definitely going to happen this week again. But if Santiago wants to do a burn stream, we can do that on stream again.
It will be cool, actually.
Just because, yeah, it's just that it's a little boring, because I have everything prepared, and then it's literally just signing a transaction via Etherscan, right?
And then you say, "Yay, it is burned."
Exactly. So there wasn't, and then we had problems, and this was a little bit embarrassing because whatever, there's gas prices high, and then you need to send more ETH to actually just sign the transaction. And then if you do that privately, it's not a problem, right? But if you do that on stream, it's like everyone's waiting for more ETH to arrive from an exchange, whatever, right? So okay. Master Shin is asking, how does the burn work? I sometimes see you burn on Wax, sometimes on Matic, but you never burn the ETH-based Wombat tokens. No, we only burn the ETH-based Wombat tokens. Yes. So it's a little bit misleading, because we collect the Wombat tokens, for instance, that we buy back from, let's say, the Atomic Hub trading fees, right? We put them on an account that's called Wombat Burned. But they are actually not burnt. They're not burnt on Wax at all, right? Yep. All we do is we can recycle these tokens, because these tokens are ours. But we actually burn the equivalent number of tokens on Ethereum, because no token on Wax can ever exist if it doesn't exist on Ethereum, but not the other way around, right? So we want to have one single source of truth when it comes to the number of burned tokens, and this is Ethereum. If we were burning tokens on Wax directly, so for instance, by sending them to eosio.now, right, the semi-official burn address on Wax, then in order to see how many tokens have been burned total before, you would have to go to every single chain and check how many Wombat tokens have been burned there, right? And this is not great to do, right? And for somebody like CoinMarketCap, that's actually impossible to do. They won't do it, full stop, right? So instead, we would actually, quote unquote, bridge the tokens back, and that's what we do with some of the portions of the tokens, like literally. We would bridge the tokens back and burn them on Ethereum, so that these tokens get removed from the official source of truth, which is the smart contract that's deployed on Ethereum. So that's how it works. So if you see, like, the only burn that ever happens really is where tokens get burned by us is really just on Ethereum, never on Polygon and never on Wax. We'd rather bridge them back, or just keep those for accounting purposes, keep those on an account on the chain, and use tokens that we hold. And I mean, it's both tokens, right? It's just for us, it makes a difference from an accounting perspective. Kevin Kev is asking about, can we get some sneak peeks graphics on the Playmind protocol? We can do that in private. We can show you some stuff, but we won't do that publicly, right?
If you head over to the VIP channel and the VIP announcements, there's a lot of information and some sneak peeks about Playmind. But yeah, we cannot share them here on this stream.
Yet we will. That's all. Again, that's just a matter of weeks until all the material will be shared publicly. Beantown Bob, thanks for asking.
That's a great question.
We keep, and maybe Santiago can jump in on that as well. We keep asking questions about the progress of projects that you are working on, but what can we do as a community to help the success of this game or of our ecosystem altogether? I don't know. Do you want to start answering this?
You can start first, and then I can add to it.
Me first. So one thing, and again, I know that this is incredibly hard to ask for because some of you have been kind of disappointed about us postponing stuff, right? Or not delivering everything that we're planning to deliver. But what helps us is, especially once we start communicating publicly about Playmind, and there's going to be a separate Twitter and a separate website for this, and whatever, Telegram, wherever. Once we start communicating about this, it will help us a big deal if you could come in there and publicly get excited about this, right? Part of the reason why we haven't gone out with a lot of kind of Playmind specific communication is that we want to have that condensed into a rather short but very impactful campaign, right? So that's just a few weeks, but a lot of stuff should be happening. But in order to show how capable we are, quote unquote, in building a community and making this succeed, right? Obviously, if you talk about, for instance, exchange listings or other partners, one thing that they always look at is how many followers do they have on Twitter, right? And it's kind of a stupid metric because it's very, very easy to buy followers on Twitter very cheaply, right? But then like more advanced people would look at, okay, is this organic? How much engagement do they have on their tweets and so on? So we would love to get some engagement from our existing community for Playmind once we start the communication in the upcoming weeks. So that would help a big deal. Why is that? Because this will show outsiders that there's insiders who trust us already, who have trusted us, right? And obviously, the majority of the demand for tokens, for play tokens going forward, will be coming from people from outside of where we are, right? And I think that's very important to understand, and that's why we focus a lot right now in kind of what we do within the company. We focus a lot on Playmind, not because we don't value and love everyone who has been using our existing products, but because this is our path forward to making things better for everyone, right? Because then if the token price goes up, then a lot of things will become easier. For instance, prize pool discussions and whatnot, right? So we do that so that situation improves also for everyone existing. And just because we don't talk about let's say Dungeon Master publicly, people who come in to Playmind, they don't know anything about Dungeon Master, and understanding how Dungeon Master, Atomic Hub, Wombat, and Playmind work together is much more difficult than just understanding what Playmind is, right? So that's definitely something that will be. It would be awesome if we could get that right to answer that question. Apart from that, from a kind of what else can you do? Like really is, well, you do a lot, Beantown Bob, by being here and asking this question already, right? By consistently holding us accountable for whatever we say or do, and tell us when you're not happy, tell us when you're happy, and about individual things, because that's the feedback we really need in order to keep things up and running and good, right? Even if sometimes they're not good, but then there's always, it's always a process. It's never a it's never a kind of one-way street, right? Or it's never over. It's never, you never reach this one state where, okay, now we're done, right? It's always changing and always evolving. So I think that's definitely something. And then, yeah, I mean, there's very little you can do about kind of the market and how that works, but continue using our products. It helps, right? Downloading, playing games, playing Dungeon Master, trading NFTs, always helps. It's always good to see kind of that there's activity, both from a kind of pure spending time and focus on our products, but also economic activity is also always good. But so that's three or four things that come to my mind. What's yours?
So I always think and always thought that the best marketing you can have does not come from the KOL that you sometimes offer some tokens to shield you the project, but the best ambassador and the best marketing you can have comes from a happy customer. I know customers are not really happy right now. They haven't been obtaining the best experience right now. And I get the frustration, but the frustration also comes because they know what these products can achieve. They know what Atomic Hub can achieve. I know that Atomic Hub could easily become one of the top markets, not only on Wax, but on any chain, just for the user experience, just for the user interface. And it's frustrating as a user and also as a part of the company to know that we are not there yet, but we are working for it. And people need to know that we are working for it. We have been going through the restructuring. I think we are moving much more efficiently and faster than when I joined. And that's amazing to see because you know that there is progress going on. Play seems like it is getting closer and closer. And overall, I think we will start seeing some more significant changes and some more upgrades in customer care, in user interface, in user experience. The user experience is essential in the next coming months. So if I gotta ask something to you is, as you said, keep using the products, keep giving feedback. Feedback is the most important thing that we can get from you guys, and overall, keep supporting us. Keep supporting us. That's it. Help us to grow because we can only grow in this together, and we always take you into account.
I like the answers by Kevin Kev and Anzi and others here. So want to gain back many people's trust in Dungeon Master, scrap the newbie pool.
Yeah, it will.
Goodbye,
It is
pool.
broken. The new people. Let's see if we can execute. I don't want to make promises because I don't know if we can do it, but let's see if we can delay the newbie pool for the next season as a hotfix, and then provide the real solution. Right now, the newbie pool as it is, and I was also taking a look at the leaderboards. Yeah, it's not great.
But so how about we ban the people if it's obvious, like we ban them straight away if it's obvious that they're cheating?
We can do that, but we should also take care of the main problem. I mean, banning people is not really the solution, but we should be able to fix the problem that is causing this. You will always have people abusing mechanics on every game.
Of course.
If you give them the chance, they will.
Okay, it's just, I mean, if we just remove or scrap the newbie pool, the idea about the newbie pool obviously was to set incentives to the new players, right? Because they can't compete with old players in Dungeon Master, like at all, when it comes to the prize pool. So do you have an idea of how you would still incentivize new players or keep them incentivized specifically versus the old players in that case, if you were just to scrap the newbie pool?
So there are some ideas. First of them will be like creating leagues based on the MP could be. So you get, the more you get some MP, the more you get some equipment, you get increasing in some leagues. The leagues could have some NFT rewards as well as some token rewards. this could help into like stratifying more the users, getting them into groups, and also creating more competition between each other. Because right now the rewards we have is the more you get to the top, the better. But we need to make these groups smaller so users can compete within their own league, like League of Legends, something like this. Or like
Okay, so it's I love that discussion here. If you decrease the incentive to cheat, okay, so that goes into or it's just, obviously it's also by Prince Paradox made the pool like $5 in 1 minute instead of 5,000. Right now
yeah, it could be.
the
I
newbie
mean,
pool
right
the
now it
newbie
is
pool
not
is
working.
10% of the total, right? So we can set it to 1% or 2% of the total. That's not a problem. But would that solve the problem? Would that solve the issue?
Not really. So that's why
Okay.
banning. I mean, we should ban people, but it is not also the solution. Like we are not addressing the solution by banning people. The problem, sorry. And I mean, I also get what Ansi says that it is difficult for new players to understand. No, it is not difficult. It is very difficult. When I started, it was very difficult to find information, to understand what I was doing. And I have been in Wax for 5 years. And it took me some time to understand how Dungeon Master worked. So someone that is new for NFTs, that is new to Web3, I don't know how they will manage to understand everything that Dungeon Master has going on.
That I totally agree with.
So the newbie pool is not going. It could drive people to it, but first they need to understand that there is a newbie pool. When I joined, I didn't know there was a newbie pool.
That's true. I mean, there's that's one issue, but in the end, it also boils down to the Wax community, right? Because Dungeon Master is a heavily Wax connected game, right? And I think as long as we keep it like that, it's always going to be limited to a handful of people who are really interested in getting on into Wax, right? And that is a problem in and of itself. For instance, I had a discussion with Sebastian Bourget a while ago, who asked, "Oh, you have that game? Oh, that's cool, and yeah, that's impressive that you can keep up the kind of the economy and the number of players and so on for so long. But why is this not on Polygon or elsewhere, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, because it's really hard, right? It's so built into the Wax ecosystem with all the pack mechanics and the staking and the whatnot, right? It's really difficult to reproduce all of that in on any other, specifically EVM chain, right? So, but that would make it easier for people to onboard if we
Yes.
were on a blockchain that's much more sought after than Wax right now, because Wax doesn't have the most traction in terms of new people.
I would love for it to happen, and that was one of the first things I think I asked you. Like, yeah, can we do it? Like, can we implement Solana? Can we make Dungeon Master chain agnostic? Like, you can use your Solana NFTs, your Sui NFTs, your Ethereum NFTs, even Cardano. We could consider
Even
even adding
Cardano.
even Cardano. So it will be amazing to have your Digo, to be able to stake it, to be able to have your Bodogo, and all of this stuff that can happen. But right now, this is not the reality. The reality is that we are very attached to Wax, which honestly, Wax is a great chain for the technology that it has, but in terms of liquidity, in terms of accessibility, it's not the best. Ask NFT dealer to make a walkthrough and have someone like Nashville voice it. Oh, that would be great.
Misty is asking, my stamina at the start of the 24 hours was only at 646. Is there a reason why I wasn't given the full amount? It's affecting the runs. But
Maybe
it's
did
not,
you had another run in the queue? Did you run anything during this day?
but it also doesn't.
Yeah, did you have negative stamina as Prince Paradox says?
Yeah. Um,
I
So
didn't
there
know
were a
much
few.
people had a great voice. That would be interesting to make a walkthrough video.
Maybe Santiago, you can talk to them
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you know them.
definitely.
So Chur is saying, I looked into EOS APIs and was baffled to see there are so few. 3 official Hyperion history APIs, where only one seems full history. For atomic assets, there's only the 2 Spielworks operated APIs I know of. Big thanks for essentially keeping the NFTs on EOS going. Yeah, state histories are really difficult. I mean, also on Wax, there's been a few services that were shut down because apparently too few people using it, or also the hard fork made things more difficult on EOS. So for us, that's a really tough question, right? Because running nodes, public nodes, does not gain you anything on EOS. Right, on Wax, at least you get points for if you're a block producer, a guild. But on EOS, you get nothing. So it's really, why are we even doing this? Right, we do that because we want anyone who wants to connect with NFTs on EOS actually has the possibility to do so. But if push comes to shove, right, we would probably shut it down as well if that becomes too much of a burden for us. So it's the the NFT ecosystem on EOS is really tiny, and right now it's also nobody is really investing in NFTs, right? It's really tough, but it would be so cool if there was more NFT stuff going on, because I mean I think that everyone still loves NFTs, right? It's just that there is no big money to be made with them at this moment.
Las Vegas, I haven't seen you around in a long time. Yes, Place is still happening.
So I'm putting this up from Comrade Boris because they've also been talking about the newbie pool, but maybe that's also related to kind of the Wombat versus stable coins discussion. Because there was another comment that obviously the prize pool is now much smaller than it used to be. So there was a lot of debates Santiago and I have had. We're still having them about what to do with this. Should we go back to stables or wax or whatever versus and then what would be the size? Can we go back to 25K, right? Or shall we keep it because we expect the price of the token to go up with play, right? And then everyone would kill us if the price. So, for instance, a year ago, at the season end, we had prize pools of over $100,000, right? Because the token price was so high, $150,000 up to,
1
right?
million.
So now if the price was to go up, because people get hyped up about play, no promises, no financial advice here again, right? But this is mainly a kind of a real question. Would anyone be upset about getting cash over haha now they changed it, now they, right? Because whatever you do, you'll always get it wrong.
Yeah,
And
but
if we do that and really the price goes up, then everyone will be like, okay, so they fooled us again, now they're getting cheap.
I strongly believe that until Play launches, we should have the next season with stablecoin payments.
So next season means the season that starts after this one.
Yes,
Yeah, but play will launch in the meantime.
exactly. So we should have this transition season into considering either keeping the stablecoin payments or implementing play price pools later on.
Okay.
And we
Okay.
should have a snapshot so we could fix this type of rewards. So, for example, if we want to give 25K, then we set up a date to snapshot how many play tokens will be given out. And then if it increases or decreases in the future, then it will be just up to the market conditions.
I'm not sure I understand, but we can totally
Yeah.
discuss that
Did someone
offline.
understand me, or did I explain it completely wrong?
The thing with the snapshot,
I
I don't,
mean, for the next seasons, if we want to set up a price pool, then we should be able to put a date in which we want to set how much play we want to do it based on the USD that this play is converted to.
yes, let's say Apes play is still happening. We're talking about the first half hour of the stream. Um, this is
Awkward
actually an
silence.
interesting idea, by the way, from Comrade Boris.
Oh, I saw it. I loved it.
Just taking away newbies' ability to join a clan.
Yeah, good one. Hi, Sir Kinner. Awkward silence. Yeah, we were hunting for comments to say something about it.
You mean it will bounce? The
What will
price, the
bounce?
token price, of course it will bounce up. Again, not financial advice. NFA. I learned.
Have you ever had problem without when you said something like yeah and you didn't say non-financial advice? Like,
No, I didn't get problems, but this is not a thing that you get like as a founder and as an issuer of a token. You don't get that problem immediately necessarily,
okay,
right? It's a thing that whenever somebody watches the VOD later on, they could say, "Look, you've been advert." So did you remember what happened to Flow and Dapper Labs? Did you see that? What they did? Like what
the
happened in
lawsuit.
the
Yeah, we,
lawsuit
we
by
talked
the
about it.
SEC against them? So part of this lawsuit was that they were advertising the NFTs to be kind of an investment and to go up in price and whatnot, right? So they were doing that, for instance, on streams. So if I were to
Oh,
go and say, I think Wombat token price will go up, or I were to say, um, Play token price will go up, then this will definitely be considered as advertising this as like as an investment, right? So this will make you an unregistered security basically right away. So that's why I'm always very, very cautious talking about these kinds of things. I'm trying to respond to the questions here, right? I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. I'm saying if that happens, then this and this will happen, right? Um, or if I get openly asked, "Are you bullish?" Then what am I supposed to say, right? But again, it's all under the realm of I can't promise you anything. We're not promising anything. We're staying clear of that because we know what this can do to us, but also to the asset, to the token later on. If there were people who said, "Oh, you promised returns. You promised a 100% return in blah 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 this time," right? We're not promising that. There's still the token pool, the bonus token pool, right? So 10 million of the 25 million tokens that we're handing out right now is in the bonus pool. So what you feel about that, Santiago? Do you think we should keep that, or do you think we should kind of move that into a different asset as well? Because right now it's token bonus, yeah, but
yep.
it could be some other bonus.
I think at the moment I don't really have a strong opinion about it. So you should keep this way until we have something that we can say, hey, it is cool that we can change and we are sure that it is in the right direction.
All right. I just pulled that out from a while ago, from a few minutes ago by Beantown Bob. That's what we've always been trying to do, right? Whenever we screwed something up, Beantown Bob was writing. I still remember several seasons ago, you made it right when the platinum packs were not producing mythics as they stated when I ripped open 17 plus packs. So we sent compensation packs, right, like mythic packs and whatnot, to compensate for the lacking mythics in there. Swim dodge wins. Did you change your name again? Or
He always changes his name, but I like that he keeps the veins so we can recognize him.
hope you feel better, Adrian. A question that I asked 2 weeks ago: is there a limit on number of the entities where MP are counted? Didn't we clear
So
that up?
we checked. There is not a limit for the moment, but we said previously in the Discord that we will implement a limit to them if we go with petrifying and so on. It is likely the limit will be 100. So yes, some alpha.
Okay, there's this question about Anna Slitted Cheetah said, did you ever find out of Sugar Queen Janice if the missing Wombation was in the packs she was opening, she said, in
Yes, we did
Collage?
help her. We actually provided a web page that you can go into. You can put the pack that it is in, and it can tell you all the chances querying into the blockchain. So it is not. There was nothing wrong. Maybe just bad luck.
So did Janice open like 300 packs and there was no Wombations in there?
300.
I don't know.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't.
I mean, if it was 300, I was going to say, okay, something is wrong, but yeah. What did Pinton put? I'm not sure.
So that was if I think if you're having a reward in a particular token, it should have some utility besides just a form of pool payment.
I agree with it. I mean, I don't like the idea of keeping the price pool in stables. The idea will be for just one season to do it. First, to make it easier to transition from Wombat to play. Second, right now there's not enough liquidity in the pools, so you will be losing at the moment if the rewards keep being in Wombat. Also, if you give certain token in a if you give certain token as a price pool, it is likely you add more sell pressure. Right now, if we do it in stables and we keep some utility for one, but through the blends, through the drops, and through everything, then you add a buy pressure instead of having a sell pressure by itself. Thoughts?
All of that is not that easy. That's what I'm saying.
Of course, it is not that easy,
but I generally agree, and so far, because that's a question that you obviously get from a kind of token buyer's perspective. What's the economics of Dungeon Master? Right? Is that if that's 25 million tokens, what does that do? But overall, I think Dungeon Master has been consuming more tokens, than it has been emitting. So I don't think that this is a particular problem. Prince Paradox is talking to you. Let's talk. I've wanted to make what I call the NWE New Wombat experience for a long time using YouTube, since it will auto-translate into most languages. I think it would be a quick 5-minute tutorial that would show a user how to do basics in Dungeon Master, like stake on each of the chains and how to put on gear and join Discord.
I love it. I like it. So DM me and we can figure something out. If you want to give the voice, or otherwise, if someone can help me connecting with Nashville Lou, it will be great as well. I do think we need this kind of audiovisual content for Dungeon Master.
So yeah, 25 packs, and I would agree with Prince Paradox that statistically 25 is not a big enough sample. So if the chance of getting a Wombatium is, I don't know which one,
10%, right? 10 to 15%.
10%, or even if it's 20%, it might easily happen that you open 25 packs and not get anyone, and not get a single one, especially because there's one question about probability always when you talk about, probability and randomization, but there's another that's regarding the variance, the how far apart are these spread, or the actual distribution of the results from a mathematical perspective, right? So you might have an expected value of, let's say, 2, but the variance may be really, really big. And it seems like the RNG on wax is generally very volatile, right? Because sometimes, like we had with the gems, that
Gems.
in the beginning we had a lot of perfect gems from packs, and then this stopped
That
happening
was so frustrating, actually.
uh, in such a massive way, at least. Right? So, look, Lacked Out, Prince Paradox, Lacked Out wants to help. That's cool. An
I'm
NWE.
creating a Discord group right now.
NWE sounds like a wrestling kind of thing. New wrestling.
I'll send you a
What is it?
DM.
Because Lacked Out is asking about the mob tokens. Are the mob tokens going to get market pairings with Wax and or USDC? The current illiquidity is a problem, along with the lack of attention to them. So we spoke about the market pairings. So I guess you mean the Alcor market, or what you mean, Lacked Out? Because obviously you can swap them against Wax or USDC at any point in time. There is pairings on Nifty blocks, on the Nifty blocks Nifty swap, whatever. Santiago was advising against having a market pair on Alcor spot.
On swap USDC. Luck is referring to swap.
To swap.
Yes.
So that should not be a big deal. That should actually work, because there's enough liquidity, I would say. But I mean, we can obviously always look into the liquidity, but I mean, their price is really low, right? So the market cap
Didn't
always
they bump recently? Didn't they bump recently, the MOV tokens?
I haven't looked in the last week or so, but I can totally look it up. But it's always a bit of a problem getting these, or creating a lot of attention and liquidity and whatnot for tokens that have a super small market cap, right? There's been a few. So we're at 20K market cap for Blue Whale, for instance. So obviously you don't get this token listed on any exchange at this market cap, right? That's basically impossible. I've been getting questions about can we include that? Can they be included in the bridge? Right? Can we deploy them on Solana or whatever? I was gonna ask the Wax team about maybe they could be included in the Wax Cloud Wallet bridge, right? Maybe there's a possibility to do that. I don't know right now. I will ask. But apart from that, I mean, one thing needs to be clear: we're not handling these tokens, right? These are community projects by the community tokens by the individual mobs. So whatever needs to be done with those tokens, I would advise the mob leaders and the mobs to actually help with that, right? Because we just want to help with the tokens. Yes, we're interested in them doing well, of course, but we can't handle, right? So if we were to do everything denominated in RDC now, everyone would be complaining, hey, why are you not supporting Wombat or Play the same way, right? So we can't be taking care of a bunch of additional tokens ourselves. So this is a community thing. Okay. So Locked Out was referring to Alcor spot pairings. So do you want to reiterate, Santiago, on what you said regarding the spot pairings? Because you are the former Alcor guy.
So they do not help with liquidity. If you expect them to help with liquidity at all, they won't. They actually will, in a certain way, help in the sell pressure, because maybe some arbitrage bots will come by. And actually, it seems like now, starting the whole meta of meme coins in Solana as well, everyone is leaning to the swap tokens rather than using a spot. Not not a lot of people on Solana use Spot. They don't even know what it is, and it's because it is difficult to understand, and not your usual liquidity provider will set a Spot buy orders through Algor interface or through any interface. So it is easier to just stick to Swap and maybe DCA. I would love to have a DCA in Wax. It wouldn't make a difference, but it will be helpful overall with the low liquidity we have.
Totally. Master Shin is asking, that's a question to Matt, which we need to forward. When's the next mob event? It feels like it's been ages since we had a big mob event. Would be great if that could include the mob token somehow.
I think the coins will be fun if we could tip and give mob tokens around on Discord. It will be so fun, but that fun will cost over 4K because TipCC charges 1K to list. Yeah. Even with a discount, it will cost like close to 3.5K. No dogs, no children in the background. Equals boring stream. I don't know where my dogs are. I should be concerned because they are not making noise, so it is likely they are destroying something in silence.
They're probably watching something because today was last week we were we were all sick, so there was no school for them. So today they were probably, it was the first day back after winter break and a week off sick, so they're probably just watching something because it's been a long day, although it was a short day for them. Can we get a bot like the TipCC bot? Yes, actually, it's like TipCC is not as straightforward. Let's say it's more expensive, but for Telegram, there's Herbbot, which is quite straightforward to get. We can totally help with that. So you can include that into Telegram channels and then or Telegram groups, and then you can tip there.
We should make a little. It's an idea. It's an idea.
What's
now? I have to say that everything is an idea because otherwise people will be like, "You said you will do this." Make a little contest between mobs, and the reward should be that the mob token that wins gets listed in TipCC.
Okay.
Where are all the dogs?
What Lego said did you give them? I think I said that my older son got the Millennium Falcon, the kids version for Christmas, which is actually a pretty amazing set. I actually really like the set, although it's like a lot of people complain about Lego to be too expensive and whatnot, but it's a really nicely made set. So that's the thing. Who's hyped for the Lego Game Boy? That's a thing?
I didn't know. You should ask on TipCC. I heard they add big community tokens for free. Yeah, the process is very long and tedious. If the communities by itself want to try it, they can for sure. Because what you have to do is you have to give the Discord, you have to explain about the token, and then start DMing the guy every day for 2 weeks for him to be able to consider it to list it. Why I'm saying it? Because I did it. I managed to get the token listed for free, but it took me like 2 weeks of DMing the guy every day and trying to convince him. If you have a leader that has the time to do that, I'm all down for it. I wonder who you know over there. I don't remember the name of the guy. I should have him on Discord.
Who?
The one that helps with the listing of TipCC.
Lord Zuko, I guess that's a question to Matt as well. Wombat Stream NFT need to be changed for 2025. Last 2024, no one wants to buy it from me. I understand.
Optic Grid RAM. Oh, I haven't heard that name in such a long time.
Select out is also saying our art event entities are being handed out as well with most events and are stakeable probably on Pepper Stake to earn Blue Whale tokens. So this is regarding Blue Whale. The trophies have utility and some special perks being rolled out in the next month ish. So a lot of hype around Blue Whale stuff. I, I've I I had the impression that yes, the Blue Mob has been the most active in terms of utility for the token and
We gotta
also
be
the
honest with
NFTs.
ourselves and with the community. The blue token has been the most active one.
And that might be showing in the market cap, right? I don't know. Blue Whale is at 20,000. Let's see.
When do you hope to reappear on Twitch to Matt? Man, I miss Matt playing Tetris. Have you seen him play? He's like a machine.
No.
It's crazy. Once I played like 3 times against him. I was last the 3 times, and he's just very good at Tetris.
Well, if Matt gets into something, he's always really good.
He's also an avid Counter Strike player. I would love to thank my team, Kev, Buzz, and Atlas are awesome. Couldn't do that. Couldn't do what the Blue Mob is doing without them. That's cool. That's amazing. Shout out to Kev and Buzz and Atlas.
So much love here. Yeah, I agree with Kevin Kev when it comes to the events. It shouldn't just be us helping the mobs, but also us doing stuff. And yeah, I definitely think that there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. There was another question from earlier on. Prince Paradox has been asking: Are the seedlings of friendship, the friendship seedlings, ever going to grow? So, Santiago, I think you don't know that, right? But these are
I'm
entities
kind
that
of
you can
confused by the question.
because you've never invited any of your friends to use Wombat, probably, and that is a big
Like,
mistake.
it is likely, yeah, that I don't know about it.
So if you invite friends to Wombat, right, through the referral link, then you can get NTTs on Wax, which are friendship seedlings, and they have mining power, right? So these were the first NTTs that had mining power that we had, and I think it's 25 or so, but you get that forever, right? So that's why they might actually have some value, but or might have their merits. Let's put it that way. And one idea that we had was back then, how about because they're not transferable, but they're still burnable, right? How about you can then later burn them and get something that can actually grow, because this is a tree seedling kind of.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, so what we then made with the tree wolves is kind of, yeah, whatever we had wanted for the seedlings to happen. um so maybe that was it, but then you couldn't do that with the seedlings. So I don't know. I would really like to do something with that, but there's so many things, and I don't think this is the highest priority.
A while back, you said you're planning to give away legendary mythic wombat champs during the Christmas events. Did I say that? I honestly don't remember. I don't think I said that. I think I will remember about giving away legendary mythic wombat champs, but we should give them away. I see that we have a lot in our wallets of these champs. Maybe today we can give some of them.
Oh, is that what you want to do? Okay.
Sorry?
Okay. I don't mind.
I mean, if
Let
I.
me see.
Oh shit, I should have a better memory if I said that. Oh, did you see that upgrading is live for the Wombat Champs? It just took us 1 month.
Right. We do have mythics and legendaries.
You see.
So, what the Halbert Sly is the lowest listing is $1,000 or over 20,000 wax actually. Interesting.
Oh my god, we have so many mythics and legendaries.
So we could actually if we hand out a Halbert Sly mythic, then we could claim that we handed out NFTs worth $1,000.
$1,000 stream.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll have the winner of today's Twitchy Tides get a legendary or a mythic. Is it mythic?
A
Isn't
mythic.
that too
Don't
much?
you see that Kevin Kev is keeping me accountable? We need to give away some mythic and one legendary. Accountability, guys.
Accountability. Well done. So we have how many do we have left? We have about
Something harder for mythic.
30 something. Yeah, maybe 40 mythics left. And why is this only about the mythics and legendaries?
Because I remember now. It was because when we announced these changes to the Wombat champions that they will be able to be upgraded, people said, yeah, but there's no point in it because we hold like 80% of the supply of the legendary and mythic Wombat champions. Which is true, and we should give them away. Yeah, we hold most of them. Actually, it was very difficult to get these upgrades to work.
Oh, did you get Nifty blocks to implement something for that?
Not only that, but we didn't have the permissions to the wallets to be able to set the upgrades. I had to set up one multisig to be able to do it. Then afterwards, I then realized that I needed to set up another multisig to add the attribute. Then we set up the attribute called level, but it was in UINT 6. And then when I went over to upgrade it, it didn't support that UINT, so I had to create a UINT attribute with UINT 64. And then afterwards, I was then only able to upgrade it. It was a journey.
It's good that I didn't have to be involved in that. I'm sorry, Vince. I overstated the friendship seedling and TTMP. Apparently it's just 10 MP. Maybe we should increase that at some point. If we limit the number of entities that give you mining power, maybe we want to increase that overall. But yes, you need to invite your girlfriend to Wombat to understand the friendship.
I do. She's into Web3, did you know?
I don't.
After 6 years of first relationship with me, not first relationship, but after 6 years of relationship, she kind of had to learn about Web3 of how much I talk with her.
Okay, so I think it was Webby.
Why not give last place the mythic?
Webby is saying work backwards: first mythic, second legendary, third epic. Yeah, sure. Okay, let's do this. I like that. So the first place today will get a mythic, Wombat Warrior. Second place will get a legendary. Third will get an epic. Fourth will get a rare. Fifth will get a common one. And that's gonna be it. It's gonna be good.
Can we give one of them to the one who guesses whose player number I have behind my back?
Okay.
Because if it's a football shirt, so you have to guess. Like,
a common or a rare or
a common warrior. So you just have to guess which player I have on my back. The name of the player.
The name of the player or his number?
The name of the player.
But the number is.
You can also guess the number. If you put the name or the number, I will accept it.
Okay, I feel like we're kinda into Twitchy Tides right now.
Cristiano Ronaldo. No, he never played for Milan.
That's a Milan. The color just looks so unfamiliar with
It's
Milan.
amazing. I love it. It was a Christmas gift.
Mm.
It is from I will give a clue. Maldini. That would be great. No, it is an actual player.
A current player?
Yes. He's a wingman. A wing. I don't think it is called wingman in English.
Wingman is something else.
Yeah.
Oh God, I know very
No,
little about
but
the
yeah,
current
that's a
roster.
player from Pulisic. I would love to have a Pulisic shirt, but no. It's my
So whoever-
favorite player. He played in Real Madrid. He then came back here. Some said he's one of the best wings in the world. I think he's the best because he's my favorite player. Come on, guys, you have enough information. 92. No, it is not 92. Leao is also an amazing player, but no.
But it's not Morata, is it? Because he's not a wing.
Oh, you know you know about Morata. Nice. Dani Carvajal does not play for. Oh no, he does play. I thought you were talking about Carvajal from Real Madrid. Okay, it's between 10 and 20. Go. Guys, you're taking so long. I thought you would have said it way earlier. Web is very close. Okay, Vince got it. 19.
So who's
Vince
that?
got it. It's
Jovic.
Let me show it. Yeah. Can you see it? No?
Just the name, not the number. But yeah, okay.
19.
Okay, so number 19, 19th player in the leaderboard will also get.
No, it was the one who guessed. So Vince got it.
All right. I thought that was for Twitchy Tights. Okay. So Vince was the first one? Yeah.
Yes, Vince got it.
Okay, so one, what was that? Common warrior to wins. Okay, so shall we move into Twitchy Tights? So GG's to Vince already. So first winner.
Yes.
I think I actually have a hard stop today in 20 minutes. Yeah.
You have?
Another meeting come up. Okay. All right, everyone join this. Is there another common or rare that we want to hand out to the best player with a wombat skin?
Sure. We can give a common.
Okay, another common.
There is left back. I don't know the terms in English. I mean, in Spanish it is lateral. So I'm sorry for the confusion, Kevin. A winger lateral? Will be the. I think winger will be the right call. All that for a common warrior. I mean, you just type a number on the chat. Come on.
That's really hard work.
Yeah.
So Pedro's not getting his fish up, his wombat skin up. Too bad. Too bad, Pedro. So Shiba Seeker will be the only one with the wombat skin and auto winning for now. So exclamation mark, just as a reminder, if you want to join. There we go, Vince. What wasn't I going to say?
You were going to tell us.
The rules, exactly. So sorry. Like I said, I'm not at 100% yet. If you want to join, this round of Twitchy Tides, you just have to type !wombat, and then you'll appear here, and then we'll have the winner, the number one player who lasts the longest, will get a mythic. This is a pretty massive reward. A mythic Wombat Warrior. Second place will get a legendary of our choice. Third place will get an epic. Fourth place will get a rare. Fifth place will get a common. And the player who ranks the highest using a wombat skin will also get a common Wombat Warrior. So that right now that's between. Oh, Vince, did you change your skin?
Vince is always changing and stuff.
I clearly saw.
Everyone is a winner.
Go wombat.
I did. He's
Okay,
flexing.
We'll see what that looks like once we start the game. And yeah, well, that won't cut it, Pedro. If you try changing it now, that's it won't work now.
It doesn't add up.
Kevin Cav, rare champ. Well,
We can introduce a poll to increase the max level allowed for the NFTs.
Okay, I think we'll see. We'll see, because that's really confusing that Coins for Vince is able to change there.
He's changing stuff all the time. That's cool.
I didn't know that this works. This is a thing. But apparently, now you hear my kids screaming, by the way, right? But apparently,
I'm worried about my dog. Where is him?
Okay, let's get going on this one. We got 38 players. That's not awesome, but it's okay. A lot of prizes. Well, high likelihood to get a really juicy prize here. So let's go. I hope this is still set too fast. It's going to take ages. Yeah, it looks like it. So yeah, it seems. Did I see Vince? No, I don't know what the end thing was. What is this? What's this coin?
Which one?
Oh, there was a coin. Now it's gone. Twitchy Tides coin. You can get some free Tides tokens when you catch that. I don't know.
Who's getting it? That Walk the Grid? No, Luck is not getting it. Autumn is not moving, but he is nailing it. Janekus, AKCP, Walk the Grid. Autumn Toys. Oh, Autumn. It is between Walk the Grid and
Walk the Grid.
Congratulations.
Walk the Grid is the winner of the mythic one. Janekus or Jankus is getting the legendary one. Autumn's Toys is getting the epic one. AKCP is getting the rare one, and Anzi is getting the common one. Plus, there's going to be a common one to, I think it was Shiba Seeker with wombat skin. I think Shiba Seeker was the only one anyway. Okay, great. Let me briefly took that over.
Oh, can I present something very quick? I want to get the feedback from the guys.
Very, very quickly.
Okay. No, never mind. I can show it later.
No. Bring it up. Come on.
Right. Where is it?
Will we take a moment to appreciate the shouting of kids? Apparently,
guys,
watching something
So this is our testing environment. We did a little changes to the user interface. I just want to get your feedback on it. First, we are looking at the idea of changing between instead of numbers for XP, we want an percentage bar. Then we add some information maybe for new users if they want to figure out. Also, we removed. Do you remember there are some NFTs on here? We removed them just to be easier to see it, and the NFTs that showed him had no purpose actually at all. So just maybe to make it cleaner, we removed them. And overall, those are the small changes. What do you think? Overall, with the one of the experience bar, maybe you won't like it.
So now I'm curious.
It feels empty though. Maybe it will take some time to get used to it.
We'll have to see once it's live and we can feel it, right?
And I can get
it's
hated on.
It's always funny when you've used the UI for so long on every day, and then there's small changes, and it feels so alien every single time. But
I feel it empty. I see it and I feel like it is empty. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think this one is the one I like the most because those NFT images didn't have any purpose at all. Oh, that's a good one. Maybe on a hover. That's a good one.
Yeah, but
You should keep the
what's that
numbers
on
of the
mobile
NFTs.
then?
That's right. Yes, that's one of the feedback we gave away before implementing it. Can XP be a toggle? That's a good question. Let's see. Update the stamina with the negative effect. That's true. Are you talking about removing learning capacity for cool? No, that's not really what we're talking about. Just some user interface changes. Nothing about the game is changing by itself. It's just it changes the way you see the game. It doesn't change the way it works. Okay, great. That's some great feedback. Thank you so much. We can continue.
Okay, continue on to the raid. I suppose.
Yes.
Like I said, I'll have to be out in time.
Percentage is the secondary indicator. I like it as well.
Add a Discord Telegram link.
That's a great suggestion, actually. I love it. That's great. Like, if you want to learn more, head over to our Discord. Yeah.
All right. Then sorry, left out. Or maybe you want to answer that. Our clan resource is going to get some new utility.
We have an idea of what utility to give, but we haven't been able to implement or work on it actively. That's the threat.
Yet? Does that mean yet?
Yet. Yes, for sure.
Okay, so
what? Animals? Animals?
Which animals? So I'd say, who do you want to raid today?
Is Las Vegas April 9?
Las Vegas app is already online.
Yeah,
yes.
let's raid him.
Okay. Based on Santiago's request, we'll raid Las Vegas ape today. So yeah, thanks a lot everyone for this nice, lovely getting back this year and back healthy stream actually. See you later this week or next week, I would say. Enjoy Las Vegas Ape. We'll rate him. And thanks for being on, Santiago and everyone. Thanks.
Thank you, guys. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
God bless you too. Thank you.